Question: how long has it been since I've actually gone live? Back in a few. Hi, this is Jan from New York City, and my channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. How's everybody doing today in this spontaneous last minute live? Hope that this live show finds everybody doing well, but I'm not here for me. I'm here to celebrate Steve Young. I'm going to get him in the picture. Good morning, Steve. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
That's
Steve Young just hit a huge milestone in YouTube land. I cannot tell you how I felt on mine, but this show is about Steve, not me. Therefore, Steve, I have a couple of questions for you. So I'm going to zoom in on you for a second or two.
Okay.
Okay. First question. How did you feel? I'm going a little backwards. I'm dialing it back. How did you feel the very first time you smashed the record button to record your very first YouTube video for your channel? How did you feel?
I felt excited. I felt good about it. I also felt as though as soon as I tapped that button that I was opening up my ideas, my thoughts, my advice if I can be of help to other people. It was opening a door to the world because you are doing that when you approach the YouTube level. Also, which it fabricated into that as a little time went on. Also, to share some recipe ideas with all of you with a segment that I have on every Tuesday at 6 a.m.
Okay, that's good. And I do notice that you do basically keep your channel random, but we'll get into that in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to ask you was, how did you feel when first you noticed that there was actually 100 subs?
Well, to begin with, I was sitting down watching television. It was about 8 o'clock at night. It was on the 4th. It was Monday. And I'm watching TV, and I knew that I was just hanging by a string. I would bounce between 98, 99, 98, 90, and for some reason I would teeter-totter right there on those two. And then about 8 o'clock, I happened to take the initiative to go over and look. I looked down, 100. My mouth fell open. Didn't really. I felt flabbergasted. I really didn't know, where to go with it, what to think. I got so happy about it. I actually went ahead and took a screenshot of it on my phone, which I have. But pretty much, I was pretty much.
Now that very day, I had lots of guests. I was entertaining guests that day. And when they went home, I just happened to check, my messages or whatever. And I just happened to go over to your channel, right? All of a sudden, I'm like, did I just see 100 under your video? I was like, what? So I thought that I'd be the genius and screenshot it and send it to you, not knowing you already screenshotted it.
It's okay. No, yeah, but that's fine. Yeah, I was pretty happy, excited. My other wish, I hope this doesn't get crossed up with another question, but my only other wish was that I kept my fingers crossed, hoping that the 100 subscriber count would show up in the month of October, only because it would be like an early birthday gift. And for those of you that did watch my 2.5 minute, congratulating myself and thanking everybody to hit the 100 mark. And I just want to say thank you for all the comments. I have read all of them. I'm still commenting back to a few, but my birthday being on Halloween Day. So it comes early to me. It comes, 3.5 weeks early. So that's a big within itself birthday gift to me. I'm really happy about that.
In addition to that, there's another milestone, and I think it's pretty big. This October 19th makes 1 year that you have had your channel. So imagine not only your birthday time, right before your 1 year mark, which is actually very, very amazing. Did you always have the vision that you were going to hit the 100? Because I'm not going to lie, I have boldly told my story. I did not see that vision on my channel, and I almost like just said, I could thank someone else, and she knows who she is. You know who you are, Dawn, named Dawn from Money Mom. That encouraged me to keep going.
Yeah, I did. I would, again, I was always hoping for the day that it would show up. I did hope for October. Was I expecting it to fall in October? No, not necessarily.
No, that was an amazing coincidence. Really, actually nice one.
Yes, it is. Only because, I'll go ahead and just mention this about me. I'm usually one that likes to go about earning it on my own. I don't always like to feel like somebody has to help me to give me that push, so to speak.
Right, exactly.
I feel better about it when I do what I do, give the advice that I do, and I earn my subscribers as I go along.
Right.
Because I feel better about it. That's
absolutely.
It also has to do with the way that I was brought up and raised too. It's not that I don't expect a handout, or it's nothing like that.
No. But, in my case, I was like such a rebel. I don't want to do collabs. I don't like that idea. I don't want to be tagged. Because it was so new to me. I'm like, what is a tag? What is a collab? Steve, I do have a question for you. Would you, because now that you passed the 100, which is a milestone, and it's been a year now, it's not like your first rodeo here. You've done a lot of videos. Not to mention you were a channel contributor on my channel before that. But would you encourage anyone contemplating a YouTube channel at this time?
Actually, if you have this is what I mentioned, and I actually told a longtime friend of mine, somebody I've known close to 30 years. I mentioned to him, I said, you yourself could have a YouTube channel. I said, if you have the ability to chat, run your mouth, the gift to gab, get the word out there, you can pretty much have your own channel. It's not that he didn't really say yes or no. I do understand that, YouTube is a big step. It really is, because as I just mentioned a few minutes back, you are opening up yourself to the world. YouTube is everywhere.
No, it's true.
It's
true.
Here, it's Australia, it's in the Middle East, it's New Zealand, Europe, you name it. YouTube is able to be gotten by many. I mean, so many that I can't count. I mean, thousands, millions, gazillions, if there's such thing. But a lot of people view YouTube on a daily basis. There's always somebody there, So I do feel if you have the gift to, run your mouth, speak, get a message out, have some important topics that you want to share with the world, anybody themselves can have a YouTube channel. And I do encourage, them to put yourself out there. Because eventually at some point, if you stay with it long enough, it can or could turn into something for you. That's what I, pretty much have to say.
Good morning, Nona Grace. Nona Grace is saying good morning to us. Yeah. How are you? Nice to see you. Yes. Nona Grace says hello to us. She has a few minutes and off to help with a lady friend. This was spontaneous, Nona Grace. We didn't wake up planning this, but I just felt that it was just, such a special, nice milestone that it's been like forever since I went live. I think the last live I did was probably back in July. Yeah, it was right before July
Wednesday.
4th weekend. But
Me too as well. Yeah.
Steve, let me ask you a question that you didn't expect, and maybe any other viewer that happens to be a fellow YouTuber, can you relate to this if you're viewing this, whether it's live or on playback later? Do you find yourself wanting to record like every little thing that happens? That's me. I didn't wake up and like I was not born that way, but I'm like, oh, okay, I'm making scrambled eggs. Yeah, but I'm changing the recipe. Hey, get the camera out. Because I find myself saying that to other people all the time. Well, why didn't you tape it? Why didn't you tape it? Anybody else out there that's a YouTuber that goes through that? Just wondering.
Well, the only thing that I've done in that aspect, if you revert back to my videos that I did about a month ago, I bought myself an early birthday gift. I bought an air fryer only because of hearing the feedback from you. So I bought an air fryer. I got it, from Amazon. The price was good, so I jumped on the bandwagon and I bought it.
Right.
And I decided to do an unboxing of it.
Right.
And then the next day, I decided to share some ideas or things that I had prepared in it. I had tried a grilled cheese. I did some chicken nuggets. Eventually, I do like them very much. I also like the way the Gorton's fish fillets.
Yeah.
The only thing I have not tried at this point, and I hear you can do it, is people say you can cook vegetables in an air fryer.
Right.
But I haven't.
Getting back to the air fryer thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in our world. Even though you and I speak, we were not talking about air fryers simultaneously. This was really weird. But I went into like this air fryer zone. I was doing like a review of my air fryer, blah, 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 not knowing anything yet regarding Steve and his air fryer situation. Then he was unboxing his air fryer. When it all came together, and then we were on the show with Joel and Christy, it hit me like, do they think like we have like stock in air fryers? It's just so weird. We went into this like air fryer thing. It was really, really weird. Yeah. Yay, Nona Grace. Thank you for your kind words, by the way, Nona Grace. She says she bought an air fryer oven. So, oh yeah, those are like the coolest. Those are really, really good. So if you're like more than one person, I highly recommend those. Very nice. Congratulations, Nona. Do you like it?
I know the one she's talking about. There's not only is it the basket type, but within that, I believe there's another section. It's almost like a convection built into it as well. There's like two parts to it. Yeah. Oh, good morning, Granny Prepper.
Hey, Granny Prepper.
You're doing well. Good this morning. But coming back to that, I have seen the air fryers that's broken up into two compartments. You have the basket one, and then off to the side or down below it somehow, you've got like a small toaster oven configuration that you open. And
well, another channel contributor, and more importantly, my friend Sharon Jackson. Sharon just about air fries everything humanly possible. So if you're watching this, hello. Sharon has a method of doing hard-boiled eggs in her air fryer. I personally was afraid to try that method, but I'm finding out that a lot of other people are doing it, and she will not stop doing that. By the way, Steve, want to mention a disclaimer. My bell may ring with a delivery, so if that happens, I'll just step away 2 seconds.
Nope, that's fine.
And then, but you know what, Steve? It goes beyond being able to speak. We have to have important messages, and you pointed that out just now in what you said, because the whole purpose of coming on here every day, while it's nice to say hello, I want to, and I know you want to, give some value to the viewer, because the way we regard it is you guys are really nice to take time from your busy schedule, your life, and sit down and view our channels. I consider that absolutely an honor and a blessing. I may not reach everyone. If I hit one person with a message that day, I feel like I've accomplished my goal.
Yes, I'm the same. Um,
Yes.
Actually, coming back to the question you asked me about the day that I hit the record button the
Yes.
very first time, the word value I would also include in my what I mentioned because yes, I want to give some meaning or value to my subscribers or everyone out there that want to tune in and watch me, even if they're just passing by. I
Yes.
don't want to
Absolutely.
just run my mouth,
No.
just to run my mouth. I want to give, and like you say, if I can help one person, then
Yes.
I've done, then my point or getting my message across that day is done. That's how I look.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
even though your channel is random in subject matter, which is a good thing, you maintain to keep it random. You have some reasons for that. Am I correct? The specific reasons for keeping it random?
That's a very simple thing. I myself cannot focus just on one subject. Every time I have gone and focused on one thing, a subject, or listening to one type of music, because yes, I do love music very much. I'll just use that as an example. I can't do that. I have to have a compilation, a variety, a mixture. I like being eclectic when it comes to my topic subjects. I cannot focus just on one particular thing.
Right.
I have to have three or four, maybe five different avenues I can look at and jiggle back and forth. If it's a little bit more than four or five, so be it. But I can't do just this particular thing right here. I'll get bored with it. It'll burn me out. Not only that, I don't want to burn out my people that are watching either. Is this all this person knows? Is that all
100%
they're gonna
agree.
talk about?
100% agree. By the way, Granny Prepper says too that she loves the random topics. That's great.
Oh, I appreciate that. See, that just goes to show right there that I'm not the only one that feels
No.
that way about. No, because I mean, for example, I'll just use a music example. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I love Tom Jones. Yes, I like um, whoever I want to listen to. If I want to listen to Engelbert Humperdinck or if I want to listen to Dean Martin, that's all right. But I'm not going to sit there constantly, constantly Dean Martin, Dean Martin, Dean Martin. No, I might want to listen to. Well, I listen to more than just this, but I'm using it as an example. I might want to listen to Tony Bennett. I might want to listen to Perry Como. I might want to throw a little bit of Nat King Cole into the equation. Um, I might even want to go back to the big band. I might want to throw a little Woody Herman, Count Basie, or Glenn Miller into the. I don't want to focus just on one thing.
Right. Now, my channel's mission is to encourage people who cannot think that they could save money or stop spending money or however way we phrase it or build money, whatever, because a lot of people think they can't. And I disagree with that. Anyone could. But I will go into different aspects of it. I'm not going to say the same thing over and over and over. I mean, I'm doing this 3 years now, every single day for 3 years. Can you imagine if I ate ice cream every single day on the air for 3 years? They would be bored. I would be bored. I would be sick too. I wouldn't want
Well,
to be. So,
actually, I have a little bit of a suggestion about the ice cream. It's not so much eating the ice cream day in, day out. What would make it a little more interesting is eat a different flavor each time. Don't
and
eat
that's
the
precisely what this channel mine does, because it would be so boring doing the same thing every time like that. I so agree with you.
same.
I totally agree with that. It would be just like a snore, you know.
Yeah.
By the way, Granny Prepper does not have a channel, Nona Grace. Just saying. And I want to thank you for your kind words. And by the way, if you have not ever headed over to the Nona Grace channel, please do.
Oh, yeah.
Nona Grace has a very sweet channel,
Mhm.
and no, some things you just never expect to watch on that channel. Steve and I can attest to it, and I am not giving it away. So there.
But you know what? I have to be honest. I have watched Nona Grace's channel, many times,
Yes.
and look, it's real life. There's nothing wrong, and it's in everything that we do when we come on YouTube. Everything is in real time. It's not something that's prefabricated. It's actually happening at that precise moment when we're doing it, and not
Right.
only that, it also makes it a little bit more spontaneous too.
The other thing is, by the way, if you guys love discussion shows with Steve and I every single weekend, Steve on his channel, I record with him a chat, sit down with him. We chat just like we're doing now. We talk about various subject matters. It is not always the same thing. At some point every weekend, usually on Saturday afternoons, Eastern time, 1:30, you can look forward to an upload. Am I correct, Steve?
Yeah, on Saturday afternoons at 1:30, I do come on. I'm going to give for those that Nona and Granny Prepper, and everybody that's tuning in. I'm trying to set it up to where I would have my Recipe Tuesday, I have a Thursday upload, and I do a Saturday. Again, my Recipe Tuesday is 6 a.m. Eastern time. That's carved in stone. And I have my Saturday, which is a weekend show at 1:30. Thursday, that one I'm not too completely certain about, although I'll just give you a ballpark time, and it will eventually fine tune itself as I go along. That one I'm still a little bit, that's usually going to be between 4 and 4:30 in the afternoon. I'll just give you it'll be somewhere in that. And as I go along, I'll fine tune that one. That way they'll say, well, wait a minute, I know Steve comes on this day, but what time? And I don't want my subscribers or even new
Right.
viewers
So it's definitely 6 a.m. Recipe Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday for our chats. And by the way, one of my favorite, I've done a lot of chats with you. One of my favorites has got to be about the dining out and the grilled cheese and the tomato soup. If you have not seen that, I'm going to hook that up in the description box below. You will never spend, too much money on that ever again. I promise you.
Keep in mind,
hi, Granny Moreno, by the way. We love your channel. Love you.
Good morning, Granny Moreno. Good to see you. Now, I would much rather prepare my own food, yes. But from time to time here and there, I don't mind going out, getting a little something as a treat.
Right.
But the last time I really went into a restaurant and sat down and ate something, now this was about a week. This was, I believe, last Monday. Yes, it was. I decided to go out, and you definitely go and revert back to the video because it explains it. But I was amazed at some of the prices. I realized that the cost of things are going up because of inflation, recession, and so on. But the last time I had actually went into a place to sit down and eat was probably April or May. So within a 5-month period, I almost fell out of my chair when I saw how much prices had gone up. Are you kidding me? $13 for a grilled cheese and a bowl of tomato soup, and it's in the video.
It's mine. We're not going to give it away, you guys. If you've not seen it, get a cup of tea and sit down and scratch your head. Steve, I need to do a solo layout for a moment.
All right.
Okay, just for the record, Granny Prepper is one of the best viewers that I've ever had. You are so loyal to our live shows and pre-records and everything else. But just for the record, Granny Prepper does not have a YouTube channel at this exact moment in time. Yeah. And perhaps one day down the road she will. But at this moment in time, and just making that official announcement, there are a lot of Granny type channels. Granny Moreno, Moreno, does have a channel. Yeah. And it is, she was a guest on my show. And you, by the way, you're always welcome to come back, Granny Moreno. You are such a sunshine person. And especially if you are faith-based and faith-filled, you're going to love her channel. You always walk away feeling good. That's
Yeah.
what I may not comment every single time I view you, but I watch you all the time.
Well, that collab that we did, and I want to thank everybody, allowing me to be a part of that, a part of that collab that was done, just recently. I want to thank everybody that allowed me to be a part of that, and I appreciate it very much. But um, when it comes to me reaching the 100 mark, like I said, it definitely was a blessing, and I'm so appreciative of it. I'm appreciative of everyone that commented to me. I've read all of your comments. I'm slowly going to be acknowledging, giving everybody thanks back. So if you haven't gotten one, I'll definitely get around to it. But on another note, I'm noticing here in your comments, yes, Granny Prepper, dining out is expensive. And I will tell you this, like I said, I do it basically as a treat. As I said, I have a birthday coming up on Halloween, for those that don't know. And it's a little bit of a milestone birthday for me because I was born in 74. I will be 47 this year. So
poor Steve, born way back in the old days of 74.
Well, let's not.
I have socks older than you.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you do. Well, I will say this. I
really do.
To be, you're being sarcastic, but I actually revert back to the year that I was born. I'm very familiar with it. I'm familiar with the music. I'm familiar with the fashion trends. And it was also a time when people still loved and cared and appreciated one another much more than you do now. It was a totally different world than what we have today. That's for sure. I can say that.
They're remarking, our wonderful viewers and commenters are remarking about you being young. So enjoy this. These are moments, enjoy hearing that you're so, still young. So,
well, isn't it funny? And I'm going to compliment Granny Moreno and Nona Grace and everybody, with the word young, considering that is my last name. People have
no pun intended, guys.
No, people have actually come to me and that I will always be forever young.
Forever young. Steve, let me step away 2 seconds. One of the beauties about being able to be a tuber, I can do a live show and cook chicken soup at the same time, which is what I'm doing. And my stove sounds like it's boiling way too high. I need to shut it. So,
okay. So I'm
sorry, guys. Take over 20 seconds, Steve.
Oh, Granny Prepper, your birthday's on the 25th. Okay, so we're both Scorpios. Yeah, Oh, 70 is, that's certainly a milestone as well. But even though, yes, I'll be honest with all of you guys, I am about to be 47. Yes. Do I feel 40? Absolutely not. I still feel like I'm about my mid-30s, give or take. And people say, Steve, you're not that far from the 50. Well, okay, I'm looking forward to 50.
Wait, excuse me, Steve. Take care, Nona Grace. Thank you for stopping by. Head on over to her channel, guys. Go ahead, Steve.
You sure?
Yes, Nona Grace said she was leaving, and we wanted to say goodbye.
All right. Have a good one. Have a good one.
Well, good manners, Steve.
So I'm just going to say this, and it's over. When I hit 50, I'll feel the way I do now then, because when I was 44, if you look back 3 years back, I felt the same way then as I do now. So,
I'm going to offer you some hope. I am soon to be 63 in December, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel it. You know why? I never smoked. I don't drink. I'm boring.
That plays a big part in it.
But I love music.
A lot of it, the way that you treat yourself and how you take care of yourself in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s will reflect how you're going to be much later. Also, if I may, there's a little saying I heard that they say life begins at 40. Let me tell you this. I'm 7 years into my 40-year-old bracket. I disagree. To me, this is my experience. Life began for me in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I say that because in my 30-year-old bracket is when I had a lot of changes in my life occur for the better. I lost a lot of weight. I learned more about, I learned who I was. I became in tune
Yeah.
with my subconscious and my actual self.
Yeah.
So I would have to say life begins in your 30s, not 40s. But that's my perspective. Somebody else can say life began for them in their 50s. Who's to say? There's no real set thing on that.
Everybody's got their own saying. If I was to coin the phrase, life begins the minute you open your eyes and cry. So that's my way of looking at it. Every age, because every age is different. And the world, by the way, I did a recent video. The world is still your oyster, because some people think that you have to be 9 or 10. Oh, the world is their oyster. True, from a 9 or 10-year-old's perspective. But a 20-year-old can have an oyster, a 30-year-old can have an oyster, a 63-year-old soon-to-be can have an oyster. There are new things to explore in life. Always keep your options open.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to just give this quick little story.
Sure.
About a little over 5 years ago, I don't like to give out names or anything, but by marriage only, I am related to one of, if not the top catering companies in Jacksonville and the surrounding area. And I needed some help, and my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's brother, keep in mind, I've known him since the 1980s, since I was a small child. When my sister told him at the time that I was 41, he said, "What? Your brother's 41?" I said, "I could have swore your brother was in his 30s." I still get that now. I don't look 46, 47. I still get the 30s. And like you said, it has to do, and Granny Moreno, that's absolutely right. It is how you take care of yourself. The more rugged, heavy duty, the more you treat yourself like garbage.
Right. And I'm not knocking the person that, has, but when I was in my 20s and 30s, it just didn't care for it. I thought those things they didn't mean that much to me. And the way I was raised, in a faith-based background, it was taboo anyway. So that kind of works out. I just like to enjoy life, love people.
Yeah.
Have a little security and help others.
Right. Now, Granny Moreno she makes a very good point here. She says a 70-year-old can have an oyster. You know what?
Heck yeah.
This is what I say about the world being your oyster. You can have an oyster all the way up. You can be 85 and have an oyster. You want to know when it's too late to have an oyster? When you're not physically here anymore. That's how I look at it. The oyster, to me, there is no age set limit for that. Everybody has an oyster in life. That's how I look at it.
That's it. And this milestone for you is the beginning of your oyster opening up, because YouTube is not a destination, or other platforms. It is a journey, for real and for true. I'm doing things now that, like, if somebody would have said to me literally 5 years ago, you're going to be a YouTuber one day and have your own channel, I would go, yeah, right. And you could do live streaming every once in a while. Yeah, right. Oh, well, although I did do other live stuff back in the day, different venue. However, but I never considered that, because I didn't have the vision. I didn't have that vision. Now I have all sorts of different things coming up. Oh, guys and gals, you're going to love next week's shows. Woo-hoo-hoo. I have 14-day worth of meal plan for dinner using stuff you already probably have. That'll be on Monday And
14 years. Wow.
Tuesday. Yes, Steve. Yes, 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 yes. Just saying.
I do want to mention one thing, and this is where I have to kind of give myself or kind of put things in. When I, for those of you that don't know, I've known Janet since 2016. We met on Facebook, and yes, I mentioned the name, but that's okay. I met Janet through a 1960s music group. I do like music of the 1960s, but if you give me a preference, I'm more of an early 60s guy and Motown. And the reason why I like the early 60s music is because it reminds me of 50s rock and roll, but slightly refined. It's almost like disco to post disco, if you put it in that, because that's really, in a way, if you
Right.
think about the layman's terms of it, that's really how it breaks down. But that's how we met. And there was a time you asked me a question: should I, or do you think I should consider having a YouTube channel? You yourself asked me that.
I remember.
Keep in mind, I'm just a normal, at the time, I was about a 42-year-old, guy. And I said, I just said, do it, go for it. I kind of pushed you, as you say, I'm the one that gave Janet the push out of the helicopter.
He did. I make no bones about it. I've said it on several shows.
Thanks,
Steve was the one that ultimately pushed me out the helicopter window. But
thanks to
somebody
me,
pushed somebody else out a window, right?
that eventually came later. That's right. Then you turned and pushed me out. But because of me, not that I'm trying to put myself on some Chrysler building pedestal, nothing to do with that.
I love the Chrysler building.
Yeah, it's
a beautiful building.
It is. I mean, to be nice about it, but because of me, I kind of feel like Sonny Bono was to Cher. If it wasn't for Sonny Bono, you wouldn't know who Cher was. I'm not trying to put myself on that level, but I was kind of like the Sonny Bono to you.
Right.
Without me, this is how, and I'm glad that I've met all these beautiful, wonderful people, and I hope to meet more as I go along.
And then somewhere along the line of 2020, someone kept saying, why don't you do a YouTube channel? Why don't you do a YouTube channel? No.
Actually, correction, it was more like 2019. But
2019, was it?
Wait a minute. Hold on, Steve. No, you're right. It's still morning.
I was so busy with my mom, it couldn't have been 19.
Yeah, that's right. No, it wasn't. It was 2020. You're absolutely right. I'm a little off. But you did say, Steve, give it a try. It's your turn. Why not? And I did. And I didn't have butterflies. I wasn't scared. Yes, I've been told, and I am considered the shy type. A lot of people don't see it, but it's there. I know that as I've gotten older, the shy has wore off.
I think so, Steve. It kind of wore off, yeah.
But it's not funny because in a way it is, but in a way it's not. But I mean, in subtle little areas, the shyness is still there.
I do believe in certain instances, I have noticed at times you could be a little shy.
Yeah.
I have noticed that. Yes.
But it was more prominent, especially when I was in my teens and 20s. You saw it a lot more.
Right. But now the question begs, you hit your milestone at 100. You're going to maintain your channel direction the way you are currently. Am I correct?
I'm going to go back and quote an old saying. Why fix what ain't broke?
There you go. Bingo.
No, I'm not changing anything. I'm going to continue to be on the random path. Even Nona Grace, even though she, had to go, she also likes the random topic method.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to know that. That lets me know, hey, I'm doing something right.
I never know. I'll give you an example, anyone watching still. I never know when I get that, Jack, can we video chat about next week's, talk show, next weekend's talk show? What subject is he going to come up with this time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes I will not know until like a minute before we talk. And then what happens is we just like get on and just chat. It's incredible.
Well, do know this. There are times.
No pressure, you know.
Well, this may or may not have to do with pressure, but I will tell you this. There are times when I get on to talk about a particular subject. There have been times I've been not only slightly pressured, but a little bit apprehensive because maybe the subject matter can not be to someone's liking. And I'll tell you a couple. I've talked about finances. I've talked about credit cards.
Yeah.
Even though I'm pretty well versed, is it a subject I myself like to talk? Not completely, because I know people have, we've had some issues with credit cards back in the late 2000s. Do I like to talk about auto loans and cars? Not always. Why? It's life. You can have the best at 1 minute, the next minute it can be taken away. We don't know.
Absolutely.
But there are some subjects at times I'm a little bit apprehensive, a little bit scared to approach, because even though it's true life and it happens,
right.
I don't know how it's going to be accepted by,
I 100% agree with you, which is one of the reasons I keep it close to my personal sphere, as opposed to global issues. If believe you me, global issues I'm not going to discuss. I much rather concern myself with personal financial talk about my chicken soup, which by the way I'm making with my refrigerator leftovers because it's that time of the week. Like I'm prepping for tomorrow I clean out my refrigerator. Thursdays I get it ready.
That right there within itself is one of the best things you can prepare. If I can just mention on my end, if you go back and look, it might have been a couple, maybe 3 weeks back, I did a small video about unconsumed food that's in your refrigerator that you can take and turn it into something else. So, if you want to, for those of you that are
I love that. I love that idea because I think it's very relevant. Somebody, what is this? Granny Moreno? Granny Prepper, sorry. Says, Steve, you'll never make everyone happy.
No, I'm aware of that. Like I said, if I do make you happy, I am glad. But no, I can't satisfy everybody. If I didn't make you, I can't say I didn't try. How about that? I mean,
right. And the other thing, Steve, and maybe some of the viewers may tend to agree, it's okay to agree to disagree.
It is.
I mean, I don't expect everyone to think Janet's philosophy. No. But I do expect mutual politeness, back and forth, respect. I do expect that. If I don't get that, I don't like it.
Remember, there's a saying. There is a saying, and it's also used in a song that we're both familiar with. Different strokes for different folks is pretty much. You have to have the variety, and yeah, you can't. Everybody's going to have their own viewpoints about things. I mean, that's just.
Granny Moreno says, true. After all, Christ didn't please everyone.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But he sure pleased me.
And and I as well, I like to think, but no, he didn't please everybody.
We didn't necessarily please him, but that's another show.
No, we didn't. That is another,
human beings, but that's another show.
It is.
Well, Steve, I want to wish you the absolutely, I'm sure joining everyone viewing, absolutely best of future endeavors.
Oh, thank you.
It's not an easy journey. It is not. It's fun if you like it. I happen to like it a lot. And of course, there's the bird clock again.
Here I look at it this way when it comes to YouTube. I'm thankful for all of you that I've met, and I look forward to meeting more as I go along. But you know what? I'm going to take it at its own pace. I'm just going to go with it,
right?
And let things fall as they may. I understand, subscribers, those that stay with me, thank you. That means a lot. Any newbies that come along, my veteran ones, thank you so much.
Right.
But of course, you're always going to have that teeter totter. They may get to the
Absolutely.
point that my content may not be to their liking. So they thought. So you get the plus minus, and I'm
Right.
just going to take it at its own pace. Like I said, I look at it as a place to come, and if I can get my message out, be of help to one person,
Right.
I've done
I
what
can tell you this much, Steve. Personally, I've received more than I could have ever have given. I love to create important messages, but the wonderful friendships and fellow YouTubers, we come together. No YouTuber knocks each other. We're just so respectful.
Yeah,
I really, really respect that.
hmm that's right.
And one more thing about comments on my channel. I read every single comment. Every single comment. I may not get to personally write back a message every single time, but you will always get a heart. When you see that heart, that means Janet read my comment. I try to give a verbal message, a little text message there, but as the channel is growing, I'm having, a little bit of a challenge
Yeah,
having the time to you
you
understand where
will.
I'm going with this, right,
You
Steve?
will. You will. Uh huh.
But
I'm the
I
same.
do care about every one of you.
I'm the same way. Like I said, right now I've got a few more comments on my congratulations video that I had put up. But do know that I will and I do read everybody's comments as Janet does. And I will acknowledge it. I will put a heart. If I don't word or verbally reply back, I will give you a heart. So do know that every message that comes across, my eyes and my brain will definitely see it. No doubt
Well,
about
Steve, absolutely best of wishes into your next 100 and furthermore and beyond that.
it. Yeah.
Thank you for being you. Thank you, everyone, for viewing. We really appreciate what? Your time. Now, I don't know if I should take a chance on trying to conclude this show with a little bit of a clip there. I know. But then what happens is I come right back and give you a wave, and maybe Steve will do that too. Steve, we'll take a chance and we'll try it. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Let's try it.
Yay!
Ta-da! Have a
Not to,
great
not to
day,
mention, I
everybody.
happen to like that one. I happen to like that outfit.
Take good care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to head over to Steve Young's channel, Steve Young 74. I'm going to hook up a link about the grilled cheese and tomato soup one.
Oh
You
yeah,
can walk by.
that's a good one. All right.
You're going to rethink about buying it outside. Just saying. Have an amazing, fantastic day. Bye-bye.
All
Take
right,
good care.
everybody.